so I never do this. I don't know where to begin. First of all, hi. If you don't know me, or if you do know me, because you're probably watching this and you've probably seen this through either my personal page or my band page, Second Cities. Hi, I'm Jamie. So I hope this reaches you good and well. I don't know what. So I don't know what I really want to talk about really today. Well, I do, but it's something that I don't do. And I don't think a lot of people do it either. So this week is Wellbeing Week. This week is about ensuring that you've got your mentality is correct. You're looking after yourself. You're eating correctly. You don't let mental health get in the way, and it's all about taking care of yourself, taking a step back, and understanding that it's okay sometimes to not be okay, but at the same time, understanding that you can only get so much better. So I'm going to start off by saying that musicians, which is where I'm coming from at least as a musician, are fifth in the top 10 reasons, in the top 10 professions of suicide rates. Number one being stuff like doctors and brain surgeons and god tier levels of professions. But then when you get down to the fifth, it's creative people. It's people who are artists, musicians, designers, anything creative essentially. Creative careers have one of the highest amounts of suicide rates across the world. It's not like it's just just in Birmingham, or it's just musicians. It's creative people across every country. There's no real dip in it. It's all pretty much across the worldwide. Musicians are taking their lives, artists are taking their lives, and it's because they're fighting a battle of mental health that they can't win. Some of the notable ones that some people that would know about are obviously people that are in the similar genre to ourselves, like Chester Bennington from Linkin Park. You've got Chris Cornell from Soundgarden. But it doesn't stop just in metal and rock. It traverses all different areas, and well-being is not just about mental health, it's about your well-being in general. Not using substance, or if you're using substances, you're using them to within moderation. And yeah, I thought I'd talk a bit about my well-being recently, in the hope that if I don't get this, if I don't benefit from it, at least someone will, because they'll understand that it's okay to talk about this shit. So I'm going to start with why I think why I think music is why I'm a musician, why music called to me in the way that it did. I think I found music for me when I was 6 onwards. That's when I first learnt my first instrument of trombone. It's always been a type of escape for me. It's always acted as a way to not think about what I'm going through. So from such an early age, my dad had multiple sclerosis, which is a type of neuro disorder where the myelin sheath part of your brain, the bit that's essentially like a wire, so it's a bit like this, it doesn't have this like insulation, and if you take the insulation off a cable, it's not only like it's just not going to work. It's like without it being isolated, the power goes outwards. It doesn't go down the line to the like in the brain anyway. It wouldn't go to the muscles and it wouldn't go to the bones properly. It'd be a lot. It's kind of like trying to best way to describe it is like try and make a cup of tea with like boxing gloves on. That's like the level of difficulty that some of these people have. And so my dad wasn't really around in the sense of like a lot of people's dads are, who are lucky to have them in that sense. I think they're lucky anyway. Those people might not think so, but when you don't have something, you can really appreciate what other people have. And I didn't have a father figure, as it were. He was like he was he couldn't walk. He couldn't take me to play football. He was never in a state to come and watch me perform before he passed away. So yeah, I think that's what kind of drove me to music. It was to try and escape the fact that all these other kids in like high school and primary school, because my dad had it since I was 5. I think he was diagnosed early into my life, and I didn't really understand it. But I think that's why I use music. It's so because all these other people had their dads to go and play football with. I didn't. I found happiness and my own escapism in the music that I was performing to myself in my bedroom, which then led later on to performing covers, and then my own music, which I write about mental health in as well. I'll get into that in a bit, but so I think that's the reason that I got into music as a creative career. A lot of musicians, they suffer with different mental health problems. I'm just going to lay it out straight with you about what I've suffered with. I've suffered from depression. There have been days, especially when my dad passed away when I was 15, I probably spent 2 weeks only waking up to go to the toilet and go back to bed and sleep. I wouldn't eat. I didn't want to be awake because being awake was like a reminder that this pain's there when you wake up and it's unavoidable. So the way I tried to avoid it was to just not function like a normal human being. And I lost a lot of weight. I wasn't a big lad anyway. I've always been quite skinny, but I did lose a lot of weight at that time. And I think, to be honest, even to now, like, I suffer with depression. There are days where if something hasn't gone right, or if something's particularly affected me mentally in a negative manner, I will. My instant initial thing to do would be not feeling hungry, don't want to eat, not wanting to get out of bed or do anything. Like anything. Like I wouldn't want to perform with my band. I'm thankful that that when it's come to it, I've got my support network of band members that have helped me through these difficult times. I've also suffered with anxiety quite a lot, to the point where it has affected like friendships, relationships, whether that be business or personal. So I think the camera died there. I think I got up to a point about talking about my anxiety. Yeah, I've suffered a lot with anxiety. I don't know what particularly was the catalyst to start it all off. I know what enhanced the problems that I've had. I know that losing my job because I was too anxious, because I felt bullied by my old manager to the point where I would throw up after having a panic attack or an anxiety attack, whatever you want to call it. I think it was a bit of both. That was on a day-to-day basis at one stage. I was working in a further education college, and all I ever wanted to do was just do right. And I'd be so scared of doing wrong that I would get myself panicked and overwhelmed with fear of doing wrong that I would go to the toilets and puke my fucking guts up. I'm not looking for sympathy, I'm just hoping that if someone else out there relates, they know that it gets better. It's not an overnight thing. I really think that like if I hadn't have left the job that was causing me that problems, I would be even further in that hole of almost like a never-ending canyon of anxiety and depression and panic and worry. So I think stepping back from that position really helps me come to terms with the fact that this is a problem for me and it's something I need to address. And I'm not expecting it to be easy. I'm expecting to need the help of my bandmates, the help of friends, the help of family to help me come to terms with the fact that sometimes my anxieties and worries are becoming an obstacle in my journey as a musician and my journey as a person from developing further. And I think if I can acknowledge that in myself, and this being the first step or one of the first steps towards it, then at least I'm looking in the right direction. I don't want you to think that I'm just doing this because I want attention, because it's the complete opposite. I feel like I'm having more of a conversation with this camera than I get with a therapist right now. I'm checked in for therapy. I'm supposed to get it once every 2 weeks. I haven't heard in 3 about my next appointment. And at the same time, I don't want people to think that this is like the over happy, the over energetic side of me that you may see from me when I'm at a gig, or if I'm out and about with my band or my friends or my family or my relationship with my boyfriend. I don't want you to think that someone as happy as that and energetic as that doesn't know what's going on, like doesn't know that this shit happens, because it does. It's hit me a lot. So yeah, I'd like to say thank you to John Schoen. If no one knows who John Schoen is, he is a musical director. He came in today to give a talk about mental health within music. And if it wasn't for that, I don't think I'd be shooting this video right now. It kind of opened me up to saying, you know what, fucking too right, I'm dealing with this shit. But at the same time, it's also helped me realise that, you know what, it's okay to have a bad day sometimes. Don't look at it as a bad day. That's a big piece of information that John Schoen said to me. He said, don't have a bad day, you can have a bad minute. a lot of the time when we think about having bad days, we we um we let the idea of the whole day being bad, thinking of it as a bad day, take over the majority of the day when you could have had some really good times in that day. Just because you're having a bad minute doesn't mean you have to have a bad day. Don't take things 24 hours at a time, take them as they come. Planning to succeed and have a good day, or planning to succeed and have a bad planning to fail and having a bad day, it's all perspective. You can have these problems. It's okay to have these problems. I just want to be that voice that hopefully, if this fucking doesn't even help anybody except for myself, I don't care. I think I just need to tell myself at the minute that it's okay to have a bad minute. It's okay for things not to go the way you want them to, because it's fucking life. It doesn't always have to go right. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, even if this helps somebody out there, I really hope it does. I'd like to take a quick opportunity to again thank John Schoen for opening my eyes to the fact that like only one, like the fifth top rate of suicide in terms of careers is creative people. So I'm not the only person going through these thoughts and emotions. I'd like to say thank you to the crew at Mental Fest for letting me and letting the band perform this year. We performed last year. It meant a great deal to me last year. That's when I lost my job for my anxiety, and I think it's the perfect time to talk about it. Like, Mental Fest is 3 months away, but it's August 17th and 18th in Walsall, held by Human Canvas, and it's a mental health support charity event festival where you will hear stories of people that are going through the same thing that I'm going through, same thing that you might be going through. Mental health affects us all in different ways, but allowing that to build up doesn't help. It doesn't help us. Letting it build up doesn't help us. If we just keep it quiet and keep it to ourselves, it's not going to happen. We ain't going to get better. So I think it's time to talk. I think I'm just going to finish off by saying thank you for listening. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I think it's 20 minutes before editing. If you want to hear more stuff about this, want to know how we're doing, how I'm doing, if you want to hear from other band members telling their story, let us know in the comments. If you want someone to talk to, please look in the comments. There'll be links to Papyrus if you're under 18 for suicide prevention and talking to someone about your mental health. There'll be links to Samaritans, there'll be contact numbers. I'll put it all below. Just want to say thank you again for listening. And this is Jay from Static City saying, say goodbye for now. See you soon.